ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ನಿನ್ನೆ ಏನು ಓದಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಓದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಸರಿನಾ. So page number 373. The Prakriti came into existence through the effect of revolving motions around the center. The motion generated power which subsequently led to be the cause of the creation. This primary motion or the still, which arose to be the cause of the cosmic phenomenon, was brought into action by the dormant will of God. The still set into motion the latent powers in the process of creation and animation started. The same root force, appearing as still or stimulus, descended into every being in the form of chief active force. In man, it came to be known as the mind, at the root of which there is the same dormant will, just as it was in the still. Thus, the human mind is closely identical with the root force or the original still of which it is a part. As such, the functions of the both are closely similar. So, like the still gave rise to the cosmic creation, the human mind gives rise to individual creation. So, the human mind has got the potency for creation, like the original still has got the potency for creation. The only difference is the human mind creates at the individual level, the cosmic mind creates at the cosmic level or the universal level. Okay, that's the only difference. What has happened is the cosmic has the still has created the cosmic creation. Now the same has descended partly to the human frame as the mind, and utilizing the same power as like the original still, we go on creating things. Okay, now how do we go on creating things? We don't have any original material of ourselves because we have not created any material, right? What happens? We are also nature's creation only. So what we do is we utilize the other creations of nature. Every other creation of nature, we utilize it. How are we utilizing it? By our human mind. Because the human mind has the same potency of creation as the original still. The original still created everything, including us. Now, we did not have any material of ourselves. Everything was given by nature only. Now, we started playing with some of the things given by nature and started saying, this is mine, that is yours. Can you see? This land belongs to God only, belongs to nature only. But we mark 30, 40, 60, 40, 50, 80 and say, this is my site. What is your site? Everything belongs to him only, no? Everything belongs to nature only. But we keep fighting. That is what has happened. The entire earth belongs to nature only. But we mark boundaries and say, this is my country, this is my state, you should not interfere. Can you see? Who has created all these things? We human beings have created. God has not created. There is no distinction for God as far as countries are concerned, languages are concerned, states are concerned, culture is concerned, religion is concerned. There is no difference at all for God. As far as He is concerned, everything is one creation. That's it. Can you see the difference between God's creation and our creation? Now, when we say we have to become in tune with nature, we have to let go of all these ideas that we ourselves have created. Can you see the difference? So, when we start living these ideas or stop getting attached to these ideas strongly, oh, I'm a Tamilian, no, I'm a Kannadiga, I'm a North Indian Hindi speaking person. To the extent that we have identified very strongly with our body also, mind also and the samskaras that we have created also. Not only we identify with so many external ideas which has no validity in God's view, we also attach ourselves to the body, mind, and the samskaras, which also has no identity, no validity as far as God's view is concerned. Because God does not view anybody as body, mind, and samskara. God's view is, Array, this is also soul, uh, my sibling only. Right? Just look at it. When we look at all other people, we look at the body, mind, and the sanskaras. And all the agreements and the disagreements and the clashes, everything occurs because of the dishum of the samskaras. We are sitting here, all of us, each one is in our own place, in different parts of the state and in other state also. But here, we are all getting connected at the level of the mind and the heart. But suppose I say something against a particular language and somebody feels offended. Okay, then what happens? The same place where we are kind of getting together now becomes the place for argument. What is argument in any way? Argument is nothing but a clash of the samskaras. Dishum dishum. That is all it is. Right? Since we all carry different set of samskaras, we try to assert one set of samskaras over other set of samskaras. And this we feel we are doing the best thing in the world. And foolishly, what we are doing, we are reinforcing the samskaras and making it even stronger. And then we claim that we are all spiritual people. Can you see how foolish we can act without even having any awareness of what we are doing? Every time you argue about a point, every time you strongly disagree and add your ego to the point of discussion, you are essentially not only creating impurities in yourself, you are also polluting the environment. Because whatever we create in ourselves is going to also have a ripple impact on the environment, and the vibrations, the subtlety of the vibrations of the environment also changes. Now, in the early morning, when everyone is asleep and you are awake, say around 4:30, you can feel the gentle vibrations of nature, where there is nothing as such. It's all silent. You can just absorb the silence into you. That's the reason why we actually meditate early in the morning. Because the nature is very conducive for our spiritual practice. Now, what do? Four people get up in the morning. Forget about meditation. They all start going for walk. This is what we see every day. 4:30, 5 o'clock, people start walking. And they don't walk alone. They don't walk silently. They put Vishnu Sahasranama. Zor se. Not only that, they have to hear. Everybody else in the world has to hear and wake up. Or the different mantras of different gods. The other thing that they do is they all walk in groups. And when they walk, what is it that they talk about? They talk chit chat about everything else in the world. Right? If this is what we are doing, where is the question of us being in tune with nature? What is the nature like in the early morning? It is full of silence. Now, when you want to be in tune with nature, be silent at that time. At that time, the only thing that you hear is the birds chirping. The birds will be speaking with one another. Enjoy that. Nature is giving you a very nice movie to enjoy. Why don't you enjoy that? And nature is actually being very light on you. Cool breeze. background music of the birds chirping, silence throughout. Why don't you enjoy that? The first thing that we want to do is the moment we wake up, we want to talk, talk, talk. Talk is another expression of your samskara, right? The heart does not talk. What does the heart do?
Feel.
Heart feels at the most, it whispers. Nobody else can hear it except yourself. Now we say that we want to practice meditation, we want to grow spiritually. If you want to grow spiritually, what are you supposed to do in heartfulness meditation?
Meditate.
Meditate. But even in meditation, you do the same thing. Whether you meditate or not, you're doing one thing. What is it?
Being silent.
Silent and do what?
Go inwards.
Then do what?
Observe and feel.
Listen to the whisper of the heart and feel from the heart. That's it. Now, if you are doing these two things all the time, you are practicing heartfulness very well. Whether you sit with your closed eyes or not is immaterial. Sitting with closed eyes, doing the meditation is going to make you sensitive to these two things. Sensitive to the whispers of the heart and the feelings of the heart. That is how you practice. So then the question comes, when is it that we are supposed to do this? Alright, 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day, you need to feel what is going on in the heart. You need to listen to the whispers of the heart. These are the two things that you are supposed to do. The more your mind becomes engrossed with these two things, the more the mind withdraws from the interplay of the samskaras. That is what happens. The samskaras might still be there. Now it ceases to have an impact on our life. Samskaras are there. When do the samskaras actually cause us trouble? When we pay attention to it, when we energize it, it causes trouble to us. When we do not, for example, a child is crying and it's crying for your attention. You've done reasonably well, you've done everything that is possible, but still it is unnecessarily crying. Now, at that time, if you continue to pay attention to the child, it's going to continue to do what it is doing. So, at that time, as a parent, you have to work out whether to pay attention or withdraw attention from the child. Many times, you allow the child to say that, okay, you can cry for whatever long you want, and then once you're satisfied after crying, you come. You will see that the child will stop crying pretty fast. See, essentially, the child was crying to draw your attention. Now you have told after crying, you come, then only I'll give you attention. So you have withdrawn the attention. At that time, the child will recognize no point in crying. Either he'll stop crying or he'll get tired of crying. After that, he'll come. One of these two things will happen. We were talking about foods during 10 maximum class. So there is a sthula prana, gross food, gross prana, gross energy. Then there is a sukshma prana, subtle energy. And there is pranasya prana. But you know what is the universal energy or universal prana? How do we get it? The universal food is attention. That is the universal food. All of us are thriving on that only. What happens when we pay attention?
Energy flows.
Energy flows. So when we pay attention, energy flows. Where the energy flows, that person receives that energy. So that energy that they are receiving because of the attention of others is the food for them. Can you see? All the time we are actually imbibing the food, the energy from the attention of people. Now, a yogi is one who can actually manage equally whether they get attention or they don't get attention. Attention or inattention will not make any difference for a yogi. Why is that?
Because they can draw energy from higher sources
A
within themselves.
yogi is established with in connection with the source of the energy. So once we become established in the source of energy itself, we are not worried about whether we actually get the energy from attention or not. As long as we are not established in connection with the source of the energy, we always want energy from outside. We want energy from the attention of people. Can you see? So the universal food is attention, energy that we get from attention. All other foods are secondary. And what is pranahuti in the context of attention?
It is the attention power of soul.
Correct. So the definition of pranahuti is it is the attentional power of the soul. Which soul? The soul which is God connected with the master. And this connection is what is established when you are given permission to serve as preceptors by the master. Does it make sense? Can you connect all the dots? Now, if you draw the attention of the perceptors regularly, what are you drawing? Because pranahuti is nothing but attentional power of the soul. When you start drawing attention from the perceptors, you are actually drawing the pranahuti, not just attention. Even with attention, you are getting energy. Now, not only you are getting energy, it is now aligned with pranahuti. So you are getting two things. One, as usual, because of attention, you get energy. And secondly, not only you get energy, you also get pranahuti. That's why we always say to the Abhyasis, start working closely with your preceptor. Start being regularly in touch with your preceptor. Increase your interaction in terms of asking questions or clarifications, spending some time, going with them for different programs. All these things, what does it do? It helps you to get two things. One, it will help you get the attention, and you get that energy. This is at a lower level. At the higher level, you draw the attentional power of the soul, of the perceptor. And that is nothing but transmission. You get both the things. In other words, now you are getting nourishment by two things as an abhyasi. When you get nourishment by two things, and when you are actually interacting for the sake of doing spiritual work, it's also aligned with the thought of spirituality and divinity. Don't you think the abhyasi will change by doing this? So three things are happening. You are getting attention and energy. You are getting the pranahuti. you're also getting that aligned with the thought of divinity and spirituality embedded in it. What is going to happen? And where is Pranahuti coming from? Pranahuti is coming from the source. And what is the source? Divinity. So when you get Pranahuti, don't you think you are actually imbibing the divinity within you? Knowingly, unknowingly, you are now gradually becoming more and more spiritual and divine. Just by doing what you are doing simply, which is spending more time with your perceptors, doing spiritual work. That's why we always say, if you want to grow faster in any field, you need to have what? Suppose you need to grow fast in the corporate, you need to have one. What is that?
Interest.
Wait.
Interest.
Interest is there, everything is there, but you require somebody. And what is that somebody called?
Mentor.
There's another word in English for that. We don't use the word mentor.
Guide. Teacher. Trainer.
You all heard that word. Godfather. Godfather. ಕೇಳಿಲ್ವಾ ಪದ ಕೇಳಿದಿರಲ್ವಾ? All of you have heard that word, Godfather.
But not in the context of the current context.
In every field, there is somebody who will act as our Godfather. In every field, it doesn't matter which field. So the Godfather is one who always tries to push us. They try to push us to go for better and better growths. Take better and better responsibilities. Larger and larger responsibilities. They are called as Godfathers. Of course, in our spiritual system, Master is the Godfather for everyone. Right? But although we have the Master as the Godfather, we also have the local people that we are working with who can also act as Godfathers for us locally. That depends on the strength of your connection with that particular person. The more stronger you draw the attention and the pranahuti and the divinity, the stronger the connection. That's it. That's why in spirituality, especially in our heartfulness, everything is based on connection. It's the connection that matters. Now, how fast we grow in spirituality depends on our connection with Guru. The stronger the connection, the more deeper the connection, the more faster the growth. It's up to us how we develop that connection. How to develop that connection is your job. Abhyas' job. Guru is equitable in this. He doesn't have any partiality. The more we deserve or the more we become deserving in our heart, the stronger the connection with the Guru. That's what it is. So how to establish a stronger connection with the Guru? Not by shouting at the Guru or not by calling the Guru out loud. No. Because this Guru is inside only. When you become deserving in your heart, your connection with the Guru becomes more and more stronger. Now the question comes, how to become deserving in the heart? You become deserving in the heart by learning to listen to the heart, the whispers of the heart, and by learning to feel from the heart. These are the two things that actually helps you to develop deservingness. Every time you actually pay attention to the heart, you are paying in essence attention to the Guru who is in the heart. That's what you are doing. Who is there in the heart? We say that the soul is there in the heart. We also say the Supreme Soul is there in the heart. Who is Guru then? Guru is nothing but a human form of the Supreme Soul. That's all it is. The center. Humanized form of the center is the Guru. And where can be the Guru found? Not externally. If the center is within you, the humanized form of the center also is within you only. The essence. And when you pay attention to the heart repeatedly, by focusing on the feelings and by, no, when I say the heart, it is this heart, the first point. You don't even need to worry about 1 to 5, 1 to 10, 1 to 13, plus or minus center. Don't worry about all those things. Just pay attention to this heart. Well, I keep saying feeling heart, you remember? And it is through the feeling heart that the Guru conveys what they have to convey to you. So, in other words, in our heart, what we do, we withdraw the attention from the samskaras and then we pay attention to the whisper of the heart and the feeling of the heart. When you do this, what happens? The presence of the Guru starts now expanding in your heart. When the presence of the Guru starts expanding in the heart, automatically over a period of time, his presence will be felt more and more in our day-to-day lives. Does it make sense? All these things, how we can actually do all these very so-called higher things also, just by doing some simple things right. When you are driving the vehicle, you have to drive the vehicle with simple things. You should know when to actually accelerate. You should know when not to accelerate. You should know when to press the brake, when not to press the brake. These are all simple things. But if you learn to master these simple things, you can virtually travel anywhere in your vehicle. That is all it is. Right? Now, you can look at the focus on the heart as the accelerator and the focus on the samskaras as the brake. So, for you to drive through the streets of this world, all that you require is these two things. You should know when to focus on the samskaras and when not to. What you will work out in due course of time is that it is more than sufficient to focus on the whispers of the heart and the feeling of the heart. Very rarely you need to hit the samskaras or pay attention to the samskaras, hit the brake of the samskaras. You hardly need to do that. Most of the time, it's about just accelerating or de-accelerating. Because in the royal road to divinity, there is no traffic. In your internal journey, who else is there with you? Is there anybody else there in you? Who is there apart from you? So in the royal road to divinity, you are all alone. You are the king of the street. So all that you require is you hardly require any brake. You go on accelerating. Either you increase the accelerator or decrease the accelerator. But your attention is just on the accelerator. You don't require any brakes at all. There are no humps in the royal road to divinity. You don't jump over certain things. It's a pretty smooth road. Only thing is there are ups and downs. That's all it is. Unlike in Bangalore roads, which is full of dims and humps. Both, where you keep hitting the brake all the time. And the fellow who repaired my vehicle's brake has said, ask him to drive with not to put the brake repeatedly. I don't know how to do that. when the road is full of potholes and humps, how not to hit the brake? This is his suggestion, masterful suggestion. Okay, so anyway, in our journey towards the soul, the supreme soul, the royal road that we have got is we are traveling all alone. There is nobody there. The only person who guides you from within is the Guru, who is already there in the destination. He is guiding you from above. He is like the sat nav. You are all alone. No? You are connected to the satellite. The satellite is already there. And the satellite is giving you directions. That's all. The whispers and the feelings that you get in the heart is nothing but the indications from the satellite that you receive in your system. That's all it is. Now, even if you have an instrument to receive the signals, if you don't know how to interpret the signals, is it of any use? You need to have an ability to interpret what you are receiving, from the satellite. That ability to interpret what you are receiving from the satellite is what is called as sensitivity. Okay, so let's all enjoy our ride. There are many people who purchase bikes, go here, go there, go to the top of the mountain, go to this place, that place. There is no other funny journey or funnier journey than this journey. And once you learn to get a taste of this journey inside, you will not go anywhere. You are happy with everything that happens. So nice, everything is happening. Not only you will fall in touch, fall in love with the satellite and your own journey, you also fall in love with the road also, the royal road to divinity. Then you start wondering, God has created such a nice road. We have humans who could never create such a nice road. There are no humps and there are no potholes. Smooth road. You can go at the speed that you want. And the risk of the accident is also very minimal because there is nobody there. But there is somebody there with you who is there all the time with you. The eternal presence, the source itself is there. And the Guru in the form of source is also there within you. They will guide you from within. So now let us all enjoy this ride. And when people can think of rides, they can only think of Himalayas. Right? So somehow they have this. Even our ancient rishis had this connect with Himalayas. If they want to go to God, they want to climb Himalayas. And now people in the city also started wondering, why to go to Himalayas? I will get the Himalayan bike only here. This is what people do now. And the companies are also very good in giving nicknames to the bikes. Himalayan, road roller. They give various names, innovative names. And many people who purchase the bike or these vehicles, they don't know what is it that they are actually relating to. They think that they are relating to the bike, but they might be relating to the idea of Himalaya as the road that can actually go take you to the highest. When you say Himalayas, it is the top, top of the world. We have the highest mountains in the Himalayas. So what you are aspiring for is go to the top of the world. So when you say top of the world, in essence, you are actually talking about the top of the creation. Go to the source of the creation. That is the top. There's no other top beyond that. And that's where you want to go. And you don't know that that's what your heart is wanting. But you, attach that idea to a bike, to the name of the bike, and then roam around here in our Bangalore city. See how we many times misinterpret the whispers from the heart. The heart is saying, you go to the top. Why are you here? But we misinterpret that signal from the heart at our level with the samskaras and then manifest it materially in a different way. That is what happens. Can you see? Okay, so we only finished one paragraph. Let me read the next paragraph at least. Pointing out the cause of the stir, I would remark that perfect calmness prevailed before creation came into action. This is one more question for you. What was there before creation? Dash perfect calmness. Even power and force lay frozen at its origin. The time for the change, however, came and motion got awakened and set things into action, resulting in the formation of forms and shapes in accordance with the will of the nature. At the root of all this, there was something which we might call an active force. But that too must have a base for itself, without which it cannot have its action, and it was the ultimate. So, ultimate is described as two. It is described as actionless action, motionless motion. It's also described as superactive center. Okay, both the descriptions are there for the ultimate. Thus, we come to the conclusion that the creation was the result of motion, and the motion that of the base, which is and shall be. And here, when Babaji is talking about the motion of the base, he's talking about the latent motion. You remember the center and the latent motion that we had spoken about? That is the base of the creation. The latent motion. Okay. So we will cover space and time tomorrow. Okay, sister.
Yes.
Nice. Now it's time for you to go and have your cup of coffee.